You can run, you can hide, but the black waters of the sea will catch up to you always. This chilling message echoes from Ukraine, warning Russia that no matter how deeply they hide behind their ships, escape is impossible. The once mighty Black Sea Fleet, the symbol of Russia's naval dominance, has become powerless, overwhelmed by a new wave of Ukrainian innovation. Imagine a navy, once thought unstoppable, reduced to mere shadows. Ukraine, with its modest fleet, has unlocked a secret weapon: unmanned sea drones. These silent assassins slice through the waters, turning the Black Sea into a deadly minefield for Russian ships. As they evolve, these drones grow more lethal, capable of striking with precision and speed beyond anything seen before. The Russian Navy is paralyzed by fear, cowering close to its ports, afraid to venture out into the open water. A secret Ukrainian officer, known only by the call sign 13th, revealed that Russia's vessels are so terrified by Ukraine's drones that they remain locked in their harbors. The threat is so real, so relentless, that Russia has all but abandoned major military operations in the Black Sea. Instead, they launch missiles from the safety of their ships, then dash back to cover an endless game of hide and seek. In December, this officer explained to the press that the Black Sea is now a battlefield of containment. Russia's fleet, once confident and dominant, is now limited to shelling distant coastal targets, mainly Odessa and those in the Danube region. Despite these strikes, commercial shipping continues. With over 200 vessels moving freely each month, a contradiction to Russia's claims of control. Their fleet, meant to dominate, has been reduced to mere shadows of itself, thwarted by Ukrainian drones that lurk beneath the waves. And the situation is only worsening. Ukraine is preparing new generations of unmanned vessels, armed with even deadlier capabilities. These aren't just reconnaissance tools, they are precision weapons poised to obliterate any ship that dares to challenge. The black waters are becoming a minefield of danger, where the once feared Russian Navy now trembles in quiet terror. Before the conflict, Russia envisioned controlling the entire Black Sea, boasting a modernized fleet equipped with surface-to-surface missiles and submarines. But now, that dream lies shattered. Just 4 years ago, the Black Sea was a strategic fortress for Russia, with hundreds of vessels and advanced ships designed to project power. Today, only a handful of ships linger in the shadows, hesitant to leave port, listening nervously for the silent threat of Ukrainian drones. This humiliation speaks volumes. Ukraine's modest but innovative naval strategy has shattered Russia's naval ambitions. The dreaded fleet is now a ghost of its former self, retreating further into the water, hoping to avoid destruction. The once mighty Black Sea Fleet is confined, unable to respond effectively, a powerless fury in a sea that was supposed to belong to Russia alone. As we look ahead, the threat only deepens. Ukraine is developing cutting-edge unmanned vessels that could change everything. These drones are more than tools, they are instruments of reckoning, capable of turning the tides in a conflict that's left Russia trembling. The waves whisper of a new era, a sea where even the strongest can be broken. The story of the Black Sea has become a tale of humility, Russia's pride dismantled by a few brave ships and relentless innovation. Now, as the Ukrainian drone fleet grows stronger, one question remains: will Russia ever regain control, or are they destined to be prisoners of their own coastal fears? One thing is certain, in these waters, escape is an illusion. The black waters will always find you. The peaceful waves of the Black Sea once symbolized dominance and power. Now, they echo with a different story. Imagine ships lying frozen in harbors, trembling at the thought of leaving. When war erupted, Russia believed its massive fleet would control these waters. Instead, the Black Sea has turned into a battlefield of chaos and humiliation. How did it come to this? Platforms that once boasted unstoppable power now barely drift, hiding in port, crippled by an unexpected enemy. What's sabotaging Russia's navy? It's Ukraine's unmanned surface vehicles, advanced drones capable of destruction. And they've changed everything. The mighty Russian warships? Now they play a dangerous game of hide and seek. They venture no more than 40 kilometers, about 25 miles, from their ports before retreating. Their once imposing presence reduced to a cautious game of missile launches and retreat. Can a fleet this restrained truly threaten Ukraine? Or has Ukraine already gained the upper hand? Their secret weapon, the USV, has made large parts of the Black Sea a no-go zone for Russia. Its ships, once thought invincible, now are anchored in fear, limited to firing from close to the coast. The Black Sea, covering 169,000 square miles, was supposed to be Russia's ocean. A place where they could control every wave.
Yet, Ukraine's drones dominate these waters. Their missile-equipped USVs have taken out high-value targets that Russia never imagined vulnerable. One of the most shocking moments? The sinking of the flagship cruiser Moskva in April 2022, torn apart by Ukraine's Neptune missiles. The shockwaves still ripple across the sea, proof that the tide has turned. Ukrainian drones, packed with explosive power, have repeatedly struck Russian vessels and strategic ports. Over 20 warships have been attacked in mere months, forcing the fleet into retreat. Russia's once proud Black Sea Fleet, supposed to symbolize dominance, has been reduced to a defensive squad, desperately firing missiles from a distance, straining against an unseen enemy. The majority of their strikes target a handful of coastal regions, Odessa, the Danube ports. Meanwhile, everyday commercial ships still sail freely, a sign that Russia's fleet is no longer the master of these waters. The Black Sea is now a chessboard, with Ukraine positioning new, even deadlier USVs. These are not just small drones, they are platforms loaded with surface-to-air missiles and warheads, ready to sink even the biggest ships. The question remains, how long can Russia cling to this limited control? Before the war, the Black Sea was Russia's domain, its pride, its power. Today, that power has been shattered. The fleet's once untouchable reputation lies in ruins. And as Ukraine continues to develop next-generation USVs, the sea's fate remains uncertain. Who will control the waves tomorrow? The waves whisper a chilling truth: no matter how far you run, you can't escape the judgment of the sea. In this game of shadowy warfare, Ukraine's drones hold the upper hand. The Black Sea's story has only just begun to unfold. Before the conflict, the Black Sea was a symbol of Russian naval strength. It was supposed to be an unstoppable force, dominating the waters, striking fear into all who dared oppose it. But the harsh reality turned out to be something entirely different. War changed everything in an instant. If someone had predicted this collapse before the war erupted, they would have been laughed at. Despite its intimidating reputation, Russia's Black Sea Fleet faced humiliating defeat after defeat. Since Putin's illegal annexation of Crimea in 2014, an act condemned worldwide, the fleet's power has dwindled. Crimea's port of Sevastopol, once Ukraine's naval stronghold, became a Russian fortress. The port was a hub of Ukrainian maritime activity, home to most of Ukraine's navy. But Russia seized it, along with over 100 Ukrainian ships. Though some were later returned, many remained as part of Russia's Black Sea Fleet, now meant to threaten Ukraine and regional stability. Yet, Ukraine's military was never a dominant naval power. Today, it's barely a shadow of what it once was. Its navy operates with only 89 ships, nothing that could challenge Russian dominance. No aircraft carriers, no destroyers, no frigates, just a handful of patrol and mine warfare vessels, and some unremarkable assets. These limited forces contrast sharply with Russia's fleet before the war. Russia had been modernizing its Black Sea Fleet since 2011, adding frigates, attack submarines, and missile corvettes, firepower capable of launching nearly 100 cruise missiles in a single salvo. This supposed naval dominance was almost a certainty. People believed Russia's navy was invincible, capable of controlling the entire Black Sea. But what followed was a shocking revelation. Ukraine, with its modest naval assets, launched a different kind of warfare, one built on stealth, precision, and ingenuity. Ukrainian unmanned surface vehicles, silent and lethal, began striking high-value Russian ships with devastating effectiveness. The once mighty Russian fleet, confident and proud, slowly turned into a scared, retreating shadow, forced to stay just a few miles from shore, too frightened to face Ukraine's relentless technology. Imagine the deafening sound of missile launches echoing across the water, the sharp scent of salt and fire, and the tactile thrill of destruction wrought by unseen drones. How could the mightiest navy in the region be reduced to a fleet hiding in port? The answer lies in the new generation of drones Ukraine has developed, small but deadly, fast, and relentless. These unmanned vehicles have transformed the balance of power, striking from afar with precision armor and explosive power. Russia's response? They merely play a game of hide-and-seek, anchoring close to the coast, launching missiles, and then shrinking back into their ports. Their ships, supposed to rule these waters, now serve as targets, unable to venture further. The Black Sea, once a symbol of Russian naval dominance, is now a shrinking, chaotic battlefield dominated by Ukrainian innovation. The stark truth? Russia's Black Sea Fleet is no longer a force, just a retreating, humiliated presence. And Ukraine's new drones? They are the unseen wolves. waiting quietly for the moment to strike again, forcing the fleet into total surrender. But as the battlefield shrinks and the Russian ships cower behind their bases, a new threat emerges. Ukraine is developing even more advanced unmanned vehicles, drones capable of surpassing what we've seen so far. The question remains, how much longer can the Russian fleet survive in these cursed waters? The answer might just shock the world, because the true battle for control of the Black Sea is only beginning. In the early days, many believed Russia's Black Sea fleet was invincible. They thought it could dominate the waters, control trade routes, and strike with overwhelming power. But surprises lurked beneath the surface, an unseen force that would twist the narrative entirely. Would the mighty Russian fleet crumble before Ukraine's unexpected weaponry? The answer would shock everyone. According to military rankings, Ukraine's navy boasts only 3 minesweeping vessels, 33 patrol ships, and a handful of other assets too modest to even register. Compared to the pre-war Black Sea fleet, the difference was staggering. The false confidence in Russia's naval dominance was rooted in history, yet the reality was about to change dramatically. Before the conflict, Russia was modernizing its fleet as part of a comprehensive 2011 to 2020 plan, long before the invasion in 2022. Their additions included 3 frigates, 6 attack submarines, and 4 missile corvettes. These ships packed enough firepower to unleash 92 cruise missiles simultaneously, a level of strength comparable to a major U.S. destroyer. The fleet was supposed to be unstoppable, a nightmare for Ukraine. Yet, the tide was turning. Almost 4 years into the war, the truth is stark. Russia's once dominant fleet had been reduced to a handful of ships launching occasional missile strikes from near their ports. Their naval presence was negligible, confined to limited operations just miles from land. What had caused such a rapid collapse? The answer is Ukraine's secret weapon, unmanned surface vehicles. While the world focused on traditional naval power, Ukraine was developing something revolutionary. Small, fast, stealthy sea drones armed with high-impact warheads. These drones didn't target just the weakest ships. They systematically destroyed major assets. The amphibious assault ship Syzykunikov, the missile corvette Ivanovets, and even the mighty cruiser Moskva fell to Ukraine's precision strikes in early 2022. The Moskva's sinking marked a turning point. It was the Black Sea Fleet's flagship, the so-called Black Ship, a symbol of Russian naval power that Ukraine obliterated within months of the invasion. With each victory, Ukraine shattered the illusion of Russian naval dominance. These unmanned vehicles, often small enough to be mistaken for harmless debris, carried explosive payloads capable of devastating even the most formidable warships. Their strikes weren't mere accidents, they were calculated, relentless, and unstoppable by traditional defenses. Today, Russia's navy is a shadow of itself. Their ships retreat to safe harbors, avoiding the deadly reach of Ukraine's drones. Meanwhile, Ukrainian unmanned vessels grow more advanced, more lethal, ready to strike again. The Black Sea, once believed to be under Russian control, has become a battlefield of illusions shattered by innovation. Ukraine's secret weapon has rewritten the rules, and now, the mighty fleet is on its knees, unable to defend itself. So, what comes next? The reality is clear: victory belongs to the unexpected. What new threats does Ukraine's evolving arsenal hold? And will Russia's navy ever recover from these humiliations? The waters of the Black Sea whisper secrets of a power that once seemed untouchable, but now, are anything but. Imagine a once mighty navy reduced to a shadow of itself, trembling behind port walls, its sailors paralyzed by fear. The game-changing moment came early when Ukraine's missile launched from an unmanned vessel struck the flagship cruiser, sinking the symbol of Russian dominance in the Black Sea. That single blow reshaped the battlefield forever. Ukraine's brave strike against the Moskva ship was just the beginning. Using the advanced Neptune anti-ship missile, they delivered a fatal wound, turning the fleet's flagship into a blazing ruin. The sound of cracking metal and exploding fires still echoes in the minds of Russian sailors. This attack shattered every assumption about Russian naval invincibility in the Black Sea. As Ukraine's drones grew more sophisticated, the Black Sea's once feared fleet faced relentless assaults. Over the next 2 years, Ukraine launched daring combined missile and drone attacks against key targets. The port of Sevastopol, long considered Russia's safe harbor, became a battleground of fire and fury. Western support fortified Ukraine's long-range strike capabilities, catching Russia off guard.
Their ships, once sovereign, now suffered relentless attacks, destroying at least 20 vessels, according to military analysts, including a third of Russia's Black Sea Fleet by 2024. The hum of their engines was replaced by frantic retreat and hiding, ships darting like prey from an unseen predator. The humiliating defeat was stark. Russia's fleet, designed to dominate the Black Waters, was reduced to a ghostly presence. Instead of ruling the waves, the ships played hide-and-seek, peeking out from ports only to retreat at the first sign of danger. Limited patrols replaced broad dominance. The submarine fleet lurked in the depths, but the days of open control over the sea were long gone. Nearing the end of 2025, nothing had changed. Ukraine stayed serious. Their new weaponry, the unmanned surface vessels, kept the pressure on. Enter the drones, the new rulers of this water zone. The Meguro V5 is a dangerous ramming craft, armed with warheads, ready to sink enemy ships. Its eerily silent approach leaves a sinking ship to memories of echoing metal and icy waters. The V7 isn't just a simple drone, it's a weapon platform armed with surface-to-air missiles, capable of striking helicopters and fighter jets miles away from the Ukrainian coastline. These silent hunters have turned the Black Sea into a deadly chessboard, every move revealing how Ukraine's technological edge is rewriting the rules. What will happen next? As Ukraine develops even more deadly USVs, Russia's once invincible fleet edges closer to total collapse. Their ships, once symbols of power, now resemble sitting ducks, vulnerable as they shrink back behind their ports. The question remains, can Russia muster enough strength to fight back, or will the Black Sea become Ukraine's domain? The battles are silent but devastating, an epic clash of fire, steel, and strategy. The shadows of the past haunt the ships as they tremble under the weight of Ukraine's relentless innovation. The Black Waters are no longer theirs, they belong to those who dare to strike from the shadows. Despite Russia's mighty Black Sea Fleet once standing tall, the tides have begun to turn. What if the very ships meant to dominate the waves now tremble at the distant hum of tiny, stealthy drones? Imagine the smell of salt air mixed with ash, the cold steel of miscalculated ships, and the eerie silence that follows a devastating strike. This is the new reality Ukraine has crafted, a nightmare Russia cannot escape. Ukraine's secret weapon? Two advanced versions of the Meguro unmanned surface vehicles. The first, the V5, is a deadly ramming drone loaded with a warhead, designed to sink mighty warships with a single strike. Its sleek, metallic hull glides swiftly through the water, silent and unseen until it's too late. The second, the V7, is a formidable weapons platform armed with surface-to-air missiles, capable of threatening even the tallest Russian helicopters and fighter jets. Both operate remotely, controlled from consoles no larger than a suitcase, equipped with screens, joysticks, and security systems. Operators, hidden away, orchestrate chaos, turning tiny drones into relentless predators of the sea. Can you picture the tense silence as they move closer, the faint hum of their engines, the anticipation of destruction? In August 2024, expert analysts at the Royal United Services Institute declared that these unmanned platforms are game changers. They described them as vital to Ukraine's ongoing success against the feared Black Sea Fleet. These drones aren't primitive, far from it, they represent a leap in naval warfare. The security services of Ukraine, using specialized Sea Baby drones, have turned the tide in ways no traditional fleet could. What was once thought impossible, striking near the Russian coast and threatening their navy, has become routine. Such operations have made the entire Black Sea a dangerous maze for Russian ships, putting their once untouchable fleet at constant risk. The political and strategic landscape has shifted drastically. Think tanks like SITA highlight how Ukraine's USVs have redefined naval power in the region. The tiny, fast-moving drones are nearly impossible to detect before they strike. Their small size and speed make intercepting them a nightmare for Russia's sailors. The respected military analysis firm states that these unmanned vessels have severely limited Russia's freedom of movement, forcing their ships into hiding. What was supposed to be a commanding fleet, fearsome and unstoppable, has been reduced to a shadow of itself, retreating from the open waters, unable to match Ukraine's new tactics. The persistent hum of these drones echoes a chilling message: the era of Russian dominance in the Black Sea is over. Their ships now hide behind protective ports, launching missile attacks from a limited distance, while Ukraine's fleet of tiny, agile USVs prowls the waves, striking at will. The scene is set for a new, brutal phase of warfare, where speed, stealth, and innovation decide fate. As Ukraine's unmanned weapons develop even further, the once mighty Black Sea Fleet faces obliteration.
The question lingers: how long can Russia's battered navy cling to its last outposts before complete collapse? The silent, deadly advance of Ukraine's drones promises one thing: the age of naval control in the Black Sea has ended. Russia's Shadow Fleet is a secretive network of aging vessels, often disguised as ordinary cargo ships. Their purpose? To bypass sanctions and keep Russia's economy afloat. These ships, coated in layers of anonymity, transport oil, weapons, and critical supplies across treacherous waters. Their presence fuels Russia's war machine, yet, as Ukraine's drones evolve, even this clandestine fleet may soon face an unstoppable foe. Imagine sleek, silent seekers, drones with AI-powered targeting, capable of launching airborne assaults or detonating explosive payloads. These advanced machines are more than just tools, they're the harbingers of a new era. Rumors swirl that Ukraine's new sea drones will feature multi-layered self-destruct mechanisms designed to thwart enemy capture and even autonomous aerial attack capabilities. Critics wonder, how long before Russia's black boats become sitting ducks, as smart, lethal machines pierce their covert havens? To what extent will AI reshape the deadly chess game in the depths of the Black Sea? The stakes have never been higher. Ukraine's efforts extend beyond its borders. With international partners, it's crafting weapons that can strike over 3,000 miles, carrying a ton of explosive power. Visualize the precision and unstoppable drone fleet with AI that can identify friends, foes, and targets. With such speed and intelligence, these drones will hunt Russian ships hiding behind layers of deception, making even the most fortified ports vulnerable. Can Russia preserve its fleet's secrecy when invisible assassins can strike from the skies? The upcoming battles promise to be unlike any the Black Sea has seen, where shadows become targets, and the line between peace and chaos blurs inside the depths. And the Shadow Fleet, once a symbol of Russian resilience, might soon become relics of the past. As Kiev's drones grow more sophisticated, even the most obscure vessels risk total obliteration. Where once Russia claimed control over these waters, now the tide turns. The Black Sea, once a Russian stronghold, is transforming into a battleground dominated by precision, intelligence, and relentless innovation. The question remains, can the aging ships, shrouded in secrecy, withstand the onslaught of tomorrow's weapons? Or will this silent, deadly war redefine naval dominance forever? The future of the Black Sea is poised on the edge of a dramatic shift, one that could leave Russia humiliated, with its fleet crushed under the weight of cutting-edge technology and unwavering resolve. Imagine a fleet of stealthy vessels lurking in the dark waters, invisible yet deadly. These ships are not the mighty warships once envisioned, they're shadowy, secret, and vital to a nation's survival. How valuable are these hidden assets? Over a single year, they've transported cargo worth more than $24 billion. They attack like shadows, striking tanks with pinpoint precision, and leaving destruction in their wake. This secretive fleet, called the Shadow Fleet, was built by Russia in response to Western sanctions. It's a massive web of vessels deliberately designed to obscure their origins, transporting vital supplies while evading detection. Since early 2024, UK authorities have identified nearly 100 of these vessels, uncovering their role as the lifeblood of Russia's covert operations. These ships are critical for keeping the Russian economy afloat, funneling money from illegal cargo that funds wars, weapons, and propaganda. Every ton of goods they carry, every dollar they generate, compounds the challenges faced by Ukraine and its allies. Recently, Ukraine has shifted its focus from traditional naval combat to this shadowy underworld. With their drones and stealth strategies, Ukrainian forces have begun striking these vessels, aiming to choke Russia's financial lifeline. On November 30th, a secretive attack knocked out two massive oil tankers, Karos and Virat, off the Turkish coast. The impact was a deafening explosion, fireball lighting up the sea like a lightning strike. But that wasn't all. Just 10 days later, another vessel, the tanker Dashin, sailing under a false flag, was hit with devastating effect. Fire erupted as Ukrainian drones targeted the ship's stern, leaving it engulfed in flames and critical damage. If these strikes succeed, what will be left of Russia's covert sea empire? The once mighty Black Sea Fleet now seems powerless, forced into hiding, unsure whether it should sail or stay anchored. Their plans to dominate the region are unraveling before their eyes. Putin's navy, once a symbol of strength, now cowers behind port walls, too afraid to venture out. Their only option, launch limited missile attacks from close range and retreat into the shadows. Is this the beginning of the end for Russia's Black Sea ambitions?
As Ukraine's drones grow more sophisticated, new weapons are on the horizon, faster, deadlier, more precise.
These innovations threaten to crush Russia's remaining naval power and forever change control over the Black Sea. What happens when a fleet of ghosts turns lethal? How much longer can Russia sustain this nightmare? The waves carry secrets, danger, and a relentless fight for dominance, one that's only just beginning. Russia's president has declared a serious threat. He plans to block Ukraine from accessing the Black Sea entirely.
This is in response to recent daring strikes on oil tankers like Kairos and Virat, which Ukrainian military drones successfully targeted.
Putin's furious, accusing Ukraine of piracy and hinting at extreme measures. But is a naval blockade even feasible? The current state of Russia's Black Sea fleet makes such a blockade almost impossible. Their ships are mostly hidden in ports, unable to freely enter the sea without permission from Turkey, the vital gateway controlling the straits into the Black Sea. Since Putin's invasion, Turkey has barred all warship passage through the Bosporus. So, unless Russia risks escalating with direct assaults on civilian vessels, their threats remain insubstantial. What if Russia tried to attack Ukrainian commercial ships instead? Using a combination of aerial drones, missiles, and their own small vessels? That wouldn't be a blockade, more like a declaration of war on civilian shipping, an act that would spark international outrage. Such aggression could severely damage Russia's global standing, yet Putin might be tempted. Still, even his ego might restrain him from risking full-scale escalation. We ask, how did Ukraine manage these unprecedented strikes on Russia's Shadow Fleet ships? Their secret weapons, advanced seaborne drones, are changing the game entirely. Imagine sleek, silent crafts launching missiles or crashing into oil tankers, igniting gigantic flames and creating chaos on the calm surface of the Black Sea. These attacks are beyond what anyone expected, shifting the balance of naval power dramatically. The recent success of these strikes isn't accidental. Ukraine's defense units have developed weapons capable of hitting targets hundreds of miles away, destroying ships like Kairos and Virat with pinpoint precision. These are not simple drones, they are advanced platforms armed with surface-to-air missiles and warheads designed to sink arterial vessels in the Shadow Fleet. Even more astonishing? Ukraine claims to have eliminated nearly a third of Russia's Black Sea fleet with these tactics. The implications are staggering. Russia's once mighty naval authority is shrinking, a fleet confined to ports, unable to project power. Their flagship ships are now vulnerable targets, struck down by ingenious Ukrainian drones under support from Western allies. The question remains, how does Ukraine sustain this relentless offensive, and what new threats are they preparing next? The twist? Ukraine is developing even more advanced unmanned vessels, swarm drones capable of ramming or launching devastating strikes. Moments before dawn, the Black Sea is shrouded in chilling silence, broken only by the distant hum of these stealthy crafts. The future of naval warfare is here, and it's rewriting every rule. As the sea turns into a battleground of unseen dangers and explosive surprises, one thing is clear, the control of the Black Sea is slipping from Russia's grasp, and the world is watching. The final shocking truth? Ukraine's secret weapon arsenal might soon render the entire Russian Black Sea fleet utterly useless. If Ukrainian drones keep evolving, they could close the chapter on Russian dominance in the region forever. The question remains, how long until the Shadow Fleet becomes the new rulers of the waves? The once mighty Russian Black Sea Fleet has been reduced to a shadow of itself. Instead of asserting dominance, they're hiding behind the safety of ports, trembling at Ukraine's relentless technological advances. Ukraine's unstoppable sea drones are transforming the battlefield. These unmanned vessels are no longer just tools, they are evolving into autonomous killers, capable of striking from afar with precision and cunning. Imagine the sound of distant engines, the smell of salt and fuel in the air, as these silent assassins glide through the waves. They can detect targets on their own, distinguish between civilian ships and military vessels, and make split-second decisions with minimal human input. As Ukraine develops these AI-powered USVs, the threat intensifies. Each new upgrade pushes Ukraine closer to controlling the entire Black Sea, a body of water once dominated by Russia's fleet. The next generation of these drones is almost ready. No longer guided solely by operators, they will operate independently. Launch, seek, engage, all without human intervention. Intelligence gathered from battlefield operations proves that these future drones may arrive faster than anyone expected. They could be equipped with self-destruct features designed to prevent Russia from capturing or reverse engineering their technology,
sealing Ukraine's technological lead. Already, remnants of this new era are in play. In October, Ukrainian intelligence unveiled an upgraded Sea drone, tripling its range from 620 to nearly 1,000 miles. It can carry a payload of over 2 tons, enough to devastate large warships. Variants include armed versions equipped with machine guns and rocket launchers, ready to unleash chaos. An insider claims these drones will feature advanced friend or foe recognition, utilizing artificial intelligence to avoid civilians and target only enemy vessels. But what does this mean for the future? Russia, once proud of its dominance, now faces a shrinking, retreating fleet, a fleet that is increasingly powerless against Ukraine's silent assassins. As these drones become smarter, faster, and more lethal, the question hangs in the air: is this the beginning of Ukraine's control over the Black Sea, or just another chapter in a war of technological supremacy? Only time will tell, but one thing is clear: the tides are turning, and the old ways of naval power are slipping beneath the waves. Russia's once imposing Black Sea fleet has been reduced to a mere shadow of its former self. Instead of asserting dominance over the waters, they now lurk behind port walls, trembling at Ukraine's relentless technological advancements. The battlefield has shifted. Ukraine's unstoppable sea drones are rewriting the rules. These unmanned vessels are transforming from simple tools into autonomous predators, capable of striking from a distance with lethal precision. Picture the scene: the distant hum of engines echoing through the air, the salty breeze carrying a faint smell of fuel and salt, while these silent killers glide effortlessly over the waves. They detect targets on their own, distinguish between civilian ships and warships, and make split-second decisions without human input. As Ukraine continues to develop these artificial intelligence-enhanced unmanned surface vehicles, the threat grows sharper and more unpredictable. The next generation of these drones is almost here. No longer guided solely by operators, they will operate independently, launching, seeking, engaging, all on their own. Intelligence from battlefield operations suggests these new drones could reach their targets faster than anyone dared imagine. Equipped with self-destruct mechanisms designed to prevent Russia from capturing or copying their technology, Ukraine's lead in this revolutionary arena is secure. Already, glimpses of this new era are unfolding. In October, Ukrainian intelligence announced an upgraded Sea drone, tripling its range from 620 miles to nearly 1,000 miles. With a payload capacity exceeding 2 tons. These drones can devastate large warships. Variants armed with machine guns and rocket launchers are primed to strike chaos from the shadows. An insider claims these advanced models will feature sophisticated friend or foe recognition systems, using AI to avoid civilian casualties and target only enemy vessels. But what does this mean for the future of naval warfare? Russia, once proud of its dominance in the Black Sea, now finds its fleet shrinking and retreating. Powerless against Ukraine's silent killers, the once mighty fleet is losing relevance. As these drones become smarter, faster, and more deadly, a stark question looms: is this the dawn of Ukraine's control over the entire Black Sea, or merely another step in the escalating technological arms race? One thing is clear: everything is shifting beneath the waves. The old models of naval power are slipping into obscurity, replaced by an era where domination hinges on innovation, speed, and the ability to strike invisibly. The tides are turning, and the game will never be the same.